Hi, it's good to see you. Tonight, I thought it would be a good idea to start a YouTube series. Woo! I don't know, I got asked by someone, I don't even know if I was even asked to do this. I just thought it was a good idea to do a little YouTube series about how I do custom poses with my Movie Star Planet character and how I create clothes for them, because it's something I'm still fairly new to, but I've got some tips and tricks that were asked of me. I was asked to help, so I thought I'd make this YouTube series to kind of spread my wisdom, which isn't a lot, but it's still something. I'm just gonna say this now before we even get started. Also, my desktop. Yeah, address that. I cleaned it for you guys. I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. I'm kind of just doing this on a whim. Kind of. Like, I don't have a script or anything. I'm just gonna be telling you my train of thought on how I do things. So my ways might not be the most practical or the most efficient. This is just how I do it, and it works for me. So I'm sorry if this gets confusing at all. I'll help you if you have questions or not in the comments or like on my Discord account, because I like to help. That's why I'm doing this. So okay, first of all, I should probably show you, this is something I made today. Is it here? Here it is. It's like not the biggest thing I've ever done. I've done quite a lot better, but this is kind of like a good example of kind of a little bit of everything that this series is going to be teaching you. By the end of this series, I kind of want to have made an entire outfit with you, and that includes creating a custom base for you, which is this video, a custom pose, and then we're gonna dip our toes into editing on MSP clothes. Look, I just realized there's a gap there. Oops, I'm not perfect. It's okay. I am a perfectionist though. Okay. And then maybe even designing our own stuff, which they are pretty different, those two. But today we're just going to start off by getting the basics done and out of the way, because after you do this and the next episode, editing's going to be a whole lot easier for you, because sure, this part takes a long time, but after you do this, you're never going to have to do it again. I hope not. The first step we're going to be doing is creating a base of our character. This is the best example because it is the example of what we're going to be trying to make today. Pretty simple. It's just a custom base of your character. It's got no hair, no clothes, no nipples, and no private parts or anything really. But it also has a little cinched in waist, so yeah, we're going to be diving into that a little bit as well, and you can have complete creative control over that, which is fun. But we need to get to this. So the first step of this is we need to make a look of our character in the most naked way possible, because in Movie Star Planet you can't really create a naked look. It's like illegal. To make your life as easy as possible, you have to put on a shirt that takes up as little space on your avatar as possible, so you don't have anything to crop. So this top is pretty good because it doesn't have any spaghetti straps or anything flowy, and it's pretty tight to my body, which is gonna make your life a whole lot easier. Like, this is good as well, but we really want something that's teeny tiny. This isn't gonna help because it's got stuff that's actually off the avatar. I'm gonna go with this. All you really need is a top. This is kind of the same on like a boy avatar, but I've never seen someone do like edit with a boy avatar. So quickly save that. Okay, and like I might save this now, just download it. Like if I click download right now, it saves the look as it is directly now. Like if I click it, right now, it'll save the look with it looking this direction. but if I save it now, it'll save the look with me looking towards us, if that makes sense. And it has also saved the look standing really awkwardly like this. But to fix this, you just have to click on the look again, and then it does a little pose. Now we wait for it to look at us, and then we download it again. Let's download that as a second. Boop. So it's kind of a pet peeve of mine when I see people like upload looks or runways when they're just standing still, just awkwardly, or if they're looking off to the side. I don't know, it just makes me annoyed. But we're not going to have that issue because, first of all, we're not using this pose, we're actually making our own. Okay. I probably should mention the reason why I edit my looks and my avatars for Movie Star Planet drag competitions or drag races. That's literally the only reason I do it. If you're interested in Movie Star Planet drag races, I'll remember to put a couple names of them in the description. So you can also just message me on Discord for a couple, because I'm pretty sure they're private. I might be able to snag you an invitation to one. Okay, well, now that this is going crazy, why is it saved like that? Okay, I don't think that's saved properly. What? Okay, let's save that again. Also, I just have this naked look on my account. I do this all the time. I make stupid outfits like this and then I just delete them. It's no biggie. Okay, well now we have these two beauties standing still and posing. Ta-da! The difference between these is you kind of have access to more of the limbs. That sounded very sociopathic, but you do have more access to the limbs. Like, I can see you can kind of crop out almost the entire hand itself, but in this other look, it's connected to the thigh, if that makes sense. This hand's like pretty easily salvageable. This is so strange talking about it like this, but on this one it's much easier because it's not connected to the thigh. This look right here is all I need. This is all that I use. And speaking of stuff I use, the website I use is free and it's on desktop. If you haven't like realized this already, you need a laptop or a desktop computer to do this. I'm not sure how to do this on mobile. Actually, I am. But this is Pixelar. There should be a link to it in the description. It's free, and I am sorry in advance for any advertisements I get on it. I do not own the premium version of this, so I get ads all the time. Funnily enough, this isn't the editor I use now. I use something on my iPad called Procreate. It costs money and not everyone has an iPad, but in this day and age I'm pretty sure everyone has access to a laptop. So I'm going to be doing the tutorial on here since it's probably like almost universally accessible. First, I use Pixelar X. It's much simpler to read and to understand. Pixelar E just looks more complicated. It looks closer to Photoshop. Okay, we're gonna click onto Pixelar X. Okay, I hope I've remembered to edit out everything down below in my latest projects because it's embarrassing. I just had to cut out something because Pixelar X, or just Pixelar, likes to mess around with the sizes of your images. I won't get too deep into that issue, but here's an example. To create a new template or just a canvas, I'm going to call it a canvas, you get your image, click drag, open, and then create new. The issue is it doesn't fit your actual look onto the page. It like makes it smaller. See how it's a little bit smaller? The image just doesn't fit. The original image is too big for this. So what I do is I get rid of that. Let's go down here and I click lock. No, I don't click. I click unlock and then I click the little eyeball here. Sorry about this ad. It's gonna keep popping up. And then I click on the visible, and then the look behind it just goes invisible, and this one goes invisible. Make sure you have the image selected. So you have your image selected, go to transform at the top left, and then it tells you how big your actual image is. The W or width is 1300 pixels, and the height or H is 4096. You're gonna have to remember this, or just go to a new tab. God, I hope you don't question all my stuff, and just open up another pixelar. Now you're gonna click create new, and then you're gonna have to copy and paste or just remember the width and height. So this is where just having two tabs open comes in handy. I hope I'm not like dumbing this down for you or just over explaining it, but I also hope I'm being thorough. Okay, so I don't think this canvas size is big enough. I kind of want there to be more space on the sides and like maybe even a bit up top and below, just to make life a bit easier for me if I want to use this be a base for every design I'm ever going to make, because I might want to make designs that are huge. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to make my canvas a bit bigger. I'm going to probably increase the height by maybe 100 pixels and probably increase this by double, like double the width maybe. Let's see how that is. So I'm adding 100 to this, and I'm going to round it off to make life easier. 4200 is the height, and I'm probably going to do 3000 for the width, and like that's a pretty decent sized canvas. Now just click and drag your image and then add to current. Do not click create new, and then it fits pretty nicely. And let's see the transform. Yeah, the height's the same. I think that's the max height on pixel art, which is fine because we're just making a base. We got this. We can close the other tab, and now here comes the long part of this. This part takes a while. We're gonna have to completely cut this poor avatar apart until we have a headpiece, a torso piece, two shoulder pieces, basically 2 forearms, 2 hands, 2 thighs, 2 calves, and 2 feet. To make your life a little easier, go up here to your item or your object and duplicate it. So just right click on it, or just click these 3 little dots, and then go down to here and click duplicate layer. Now go down to the one underneath it and then click the eyeball, and then this is the only one on up here. Okay, now if I see, now I've got 2, just 1. Okay, doing this will make your life a bit easier, because if I do this per se, oh no, oh my god, I made a mistake. Pixel art, you might come across an issue where pixel art can't do unlimited undos, the undo button here, because pixel art does have a limit. So if something goes horribly wrong, just know that you can delete this and just go back to this. It's basically a checkpoint, really. This really helps in the future, so it's a pretty good tip to get used to. It'll make everything a bit easier. So after we've saved that, now we're gonna have to go up here to the scissor tool. Is it called scissor? Cutout. Go to cutout, and what I do is I go to the lasso cutout. It's basically the cleanest option in my opinion. There's shape cutout, magic cutout, draw cutout, and the lasso cutout, of course. The shape cutout is just in different shapes, basically. There's a square, there's a weird oval circle, there's a triangle, there's even stars, hearts, and the only one I use really, other than the square, is the line, because it just really helps get really clean and different shaped lines. Also here, look, good example. I don't want to use this anymore, so I just get another one. It's a whole lot easier than saving this image and then going into your desktop and then uploading it every single time, because you don't have to do that. You've just got one right here, a backup. That's the shape cutout. Magic cutout just keeps or removes. This is good to remember. With the shape cutout, it's the same. The keep is basically the reverse of the cut. Pretty self-explanatory. But the magic cutout just removes everything of the same color that you click on, but it also brings it back. Ta-da! Draw cutout, self-explanatory. It just cuts out what you draw. You can change the size of your brush or the softness to get whatever desired cut you want. Ta-da! You're going to be seeing me go back to these bases pretty often. And the lasso cut just really puts you in control of where the scissor tool goes, or the cutout tool. I do the majority of my I was going to say scissoring cutout with the lasso tool. It's just easier for me. Okay, so if you couldn't guess already, the first item I like to do when I start making a new base is doing the head. It's basically the easiest, because if you look at the head, you have to obviously cut out the rest of the body, but the only part it's attached to the body is the neck. This one little line here. So that's pretty easy to master, and in like a couple seconds you saw me just get rid of all of it. And up here you see like this little unclean bit. A tip, this video is just all of my tips, I should stop saying another tip. Well, another thing I do is I finish off the edges with the draw cutout, because it's softer and it has the more of the same effect that the actual MSP items have. Like, if you see here on this edge of the MSP head, it's not a completely blunt line. It's got like a little bit of blur to it, if that makes sense, like a softness. Like this compared to that. Like, do you see that? It's very minimal, but it does make a big difference. So we're going to be trying to mirror that with the draw cutout. If I can nail it here, it's going to be easy for you, because you just have to copy the size and the softness that I use. So let's try size 9 with a softness of 5. We have to really zoom in there. By the way, I'm zooming with the middle button of my mouse. If you don't have that, you can just go... What do you do? Sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry. You go down here and go to the zoom out or the zoom in button, and then you can just use the scroll left to right and up and down on the sides, just to, I don't know, make it easier for you. I don't know what everyone watching this is using, so I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. But the size 9 brush with a softness of 5 for the draw cutout tool seems to be doing a pretty good job. If you don't know already, I'm just clicking and holding and then releasing when I want to stop. It's a good idea to do this pretty slowly and with lots of little brushes, or like, yeah, brushes. See here, I'm a perfectionist. I actually went over. To fix this, just click on the keep and then go on the other side. So we're removing stuff. Now we want to jump over to this side and keep, and we're just gonna really try and even that out. Okay. If you're wondering if I'm going to be explaining this for every limb I cut out, I won't. So don't worry about that. This video would be hours of me just talking nonsense. Also, if you make a mistake, just press the undo button. I would hate for you to do what I did when I first began and just restart over because I couldn't find the undo button. Did I do that? Maybe. Okay. It doesn't have to be really perfect, because if this is your first time editing, like, hi, I know where you've been and I know where you are right now. Whoa, that sounded scary. I meant just like, you're not alone. These little things, no one's even gonna notice, really. Like, that looks really good from here. No one's gonna be zooming in to see how well you edited the neck. I don't even do that on my own. Okay. So look, a headpiece. Ta-da! Really good. Now we have to save it. This is the first piece of your custom body done. Woo! So just save it as whatever you want. Save it as a PNG. I'm just gonna call it head. Ta-da! If you want to see what the end of this looks like after you've cut out all of the limbs separately and saved them separately, because yes, you're going to have to do that, it's going to look something like this. This is for another project I did, but like you can tell because it's got a rectangle canvas instead of the more square one we have. But as you can see, there's just a bicep here, just feet there, a forearm, a hand, a head, a calf or a shin, a thigh, and a torso. So there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you remembered, that's 6 less than the total I said before, because I do a little cheat and I only cut out 1 arm and 1 leg. As you can see, there's only 1 shin, 1 thigh, 1 bicep, 1 forearm, 1 hand, and 2 feet. But this is just for time restraint. I didn't have a lot of time to do this, and you don't really have to cut out every, like, both legs and arms separately. It doesn't really matter. You can just cut out one like this, and then all you have to do is just flip the image or just mirror it, and then this is the other bicep. Like, it's not rocket science. Okay, well that's what it looks like when you're done. Oops, wrong app. But these damn ads. Okay, we're done this, so we don't even have to see this anymore. I'm gonna make it invisible, but you can probably just delete it. Another tip, don't do all of this on one canvas. I'm talking about making your naked base, your custom pose, and your custom clothes. Don't do it on the same base. You should do this on a couple different canvases. One where you make the base, another one where you make the custom pose, and then another where you make the clothes. This is because pixel art has a limited amount of frames or layers up here, so you can't overlap everything because there are limits. But also, you might want to return to this, like this one in particular. Like, if you finish your look, like a great example, this one bit right here, you can easily fix it because you have a canvas that is dedicated just to the clothes instead of all of it at once. So it's pretty easy to go back and fix it. Just like if you wanted to come back to this and like shave off a bit of the neck if you missed some. I hope that makes sense. I don't know. I do all of the custom base on the same canvas, but after I've done that and saved all of the body parts separately, I start a new canvas to work on the custom pose. Okay, I think that was the best way of put it. Okay, so now that I've done ranting about nonsense, we're going to hide the head and we're going to work on trying to get this hand right here. I choose this hand instead of this hand because this one's a bit trickier to actually get because it more overlaps the thigh, and I'm going to show you how to remove the thigh and part of the forearm to get a full hand. To do this, same thing we did for the head. We're going to lasso cut everything but most but all of the hand and some of the skin around it, like that. As you can see, I've drawn a circle around everything we do not want. Ta-da! Now we just have the hand. But if you want to do something fancy, you can actually just go to the keep and then just draw around what you want to keep. Ta-da! Pretty simple. Now we're going to go to the lasso cut. Oops. Press the undo button when you make a mistake and just shave off bits that you kind of don't want to come back to. Just shave off as much as you can with the lasso cut because it's, in my opinion, easier. And here is a tricky bit. When you have bits overlaying, you have to remember what is part of the body part you want to save. Like this bit inside the hand is actually the thigh. We want to get rid of that. So we need to get into the nooks and crannies of everything with the lasso tool to remove it. Like so. I've got a pretty steady hand because I've kind of been doing this for like a year. Or kind of closer to 2 years really. God, time flies. But we're not gonna worry about the drawing cutout to smooth out the finish, like to make this rough and hard edge look softer. We're not gonna worry about that. Okay, here, gonna cut that out. And yeah, I'm just gonna that looks pretty good. For these long lines, I'm probably just gonna go in with a draw tool because I don't know, it's easier for me. Ta-da! Look at that. And if you get anxious about like how bumpy something looks like this, just zoom out and see if you even notice it. I cannot even see that. So it just means you're on the right track. Okay, another little tip. This is a bit chaotic. I see a completely straight line here. So I go to the shape cutout to the remove option and then the line shape. And then I try and line it up as best I can. And then release. That was a bit off. Pixlr likes doing everything a little bit to the left. See, perfect. I cut it out, but not very well because the more zoomed in you are on the image, the thinner the cut is, but the more zoomed out you are, the thicker it is. So, difference. So we're going to do that again, but from zooming out a bit. And like that, now go to the lasso cut tool. And yes, I am more used to the Procreate on my iPad options, so I keep trying to do them. See, that looks a lot better than that, but from back here, I don't even notice a difference. Okay, let's quickly do that. Look how good that was. Oh my, I'm proud of myself. I might even go back and fix it a little bit. This is so difficult on mouse. I'm so sorry. I've been doing this for years and it's still difficult. Speaking of difficult, talking for 30 minutes without water. No. There's a difficulty here. There is a difficulty here. The wrist of the forearm is overlapping the hand and we don't want that. We want a nice smooth hand like this. I'm just going to add a layer and show you what we want. Color pick, we want this. Kind of like that. Ta-da! See how that just looks like a hand with no wrist? That's what we want. So to do that, we're going to have to use our imagination. Woo! And just kind of shave off everything that doesn't look like the whole hand of like the image I just showed you. So cut out that and this. If we zoom out and pretend that this white isn't here and this darker bit isn't here, it looks like a whole hand. If that makes sense. Okay, now I'm just in the paint section down here. What's it called? The draw section. Click on the white, and then there's a color picker here. I click on my base skin color. This is the base skin color. Let me get red. This is the base skin color. This is the shadow, and this is the highlight. Your MSP skin color should have these 3 colors, but in different hues for your own skin color. Like my skin color is this, which is hashtag D9A985. And then this is my highlight, and then this is the shadow. So, quick undo that. Look like I have pimples on my hands, or pepperoni. We're going to color pick your main skin color, and then just paint over the highlights, like so. A little trick, seriously, I need to stop saying that, is that you can't draw over stuff you have just cut out with the cutout tool like this. Do you remember we just softened this edge? Now I can't draw on it because I just erased that. But if I go out here, if I go out here, it shows you what I haven't cut out. Like if I go way out here, I can draw up here. Oh wait, no I can't. Okay, cool. I can draw right there. So that kind of helps. It's like Pixlr has its own DIY alpha lock, which is editing lingo, sorry. Look, this is such a harsh line compared to this. So we're going to remember the numbers we did for the draw cutout tool and do it here. So it was 9, it was a 9 brush. You can just type it in instead of dragging it, with a softness of 5. Make sure we have the right color. Oh, we actually want the shadow, and we're gonna pretend like we know what we're doing and draw in the shadow like so. Ta-da! Look, that looks like a hand, but it looks pretty perfect, or almost perfect. Something that I'm gonna do, just like a little customization. The fingers look a little blocky, so I'm just gonna take them in for a bit, like edit them a little like that. Ta-da! That looks pretty good. This looks better than the one I just the examples I just showed you. Okay, you want to save this as well. This is your hand. Okay, now we've got just these 2. Look, I just remembered I just used my base or my checkpoint to do that, so I'm going to have to drag the base back on, which is fine. We've done a head, which is basic. We've also done a hand, which I showed you how to get rid of the excess color or like skin, which was the thigh and the arm, and how to also paint over it to have the full hand instead of just the wrist, which will make posing a lot easier if you have the whole thing without, instead of just like a really harsh thing like that. That's really hard to use. You want the bowl shape. Okay. The other main thing I want to show you, because I've kind of done 2 of the 3 basics that you need to be able to cut out every one of these body parts individually. The only one I haven't showed you is how to customize one, like how to bring in the waist a little bit, how to make the thighs a bit bigger, or like maybe add in bigger breasts or something. Like I've done that because I like having the hourglass silhouette a little. I don't know, it's something freaky I like. That sounded so weird. I don't know, it's just a bad habit. I don't know, kind of been taught to think everything looks better with an hourglass. Okay, to do this, let's just ignore these and be vulnerable. And we're going to be making the torso. So first of all, lasso cut, remove. Ooh, here's an important part I almost forgot. We need the neck. So we're gonna have to be a bit careful around that. I'm just removing everything. When doing a big piece like the torso, it's best to use the remove tool instead of the keep tool, because there's so much stuff you have to keep that you might accidentally forget some. See, you're just gonna do this until you've got a very weird looking person. Like so. Okay. There we go. Looks so weird, right? Okay. We're going to... The first step is to just even it out, really. We're gonna have to just cut out everything that isn't what we want. So I'm cutting out the head. I'm gonna have to cut out the arms and also the top part of the thigh. This is very difficult to get the lines right, but we have to work with it. It's fine if you go a little bit over and shave off too much, like this maybe is like okay. You probably shouldn't do that much. I mean, like, if you do that, it's fine. Just whatever it takes. Gonna do the legs. Just be very wary. Yeah, don't do that. This is so tricky on pixel art. It's been so long since I've used it. Like almost a year. Really? See, like this? You should take your time with this. It's more important. I'm just doing a little rough copy with you. Copy. Okay. Just make sure imagine this line I just cut with the draw tool is a lot nicer. And then you just have to erase the rest with the lasso and then boom, perfect. Okay, I'll quickly do this. Look, I'm really racing this. Not really doing a lovely job. But if you like zoom out, it's pretty fine. You can get away with a lot when you do these parts that are just connecting limbs, because I don't know. I'm making no sense. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going to remove the arm. This is a bit tricky because the arm and the waist are a bit blended, but that's okay. I can imagine where the arm is. Ta-da. Almost done. I'll be back when I am. Okay, I'm done. That took like not a lot of time, but I rushed it. You should be nice and careful with it because it's a beautiful thing. Okay, what we're gonna do now is to just create our own body. So we're just going to completely imagine that this top isn't actually there. We're gonna remember that we're going to try and imagine that everything we see here is just your skin color. Like this bra isn't there, this underwear is not there. So I'm just like smoothing it out because right now it's got details that just prove that you're wearing clothes. By that I mean like it just hangs off a little. So I'm just gonna make it look seamless, which is a good word to use, but not one I would use to describe what I'm doing right now because it's not seamless. Okay, that looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty flush. Like everything looks flush with the body, which is what we want. Now we go to the draw tool, color pick the skin color, and then make your brush a little bigger. Make your job easier. Ooh, lag, yay. And just do the main part of this. Like, ta-da. You don't really want to go over the edge yet. You want to do that with a smaller brush so you have more control over it. Remember, I'm doing size 9, softness 5, so we can get a really nice, accurate line. See, we're using this smaller brush on the outside just to help us look nicer. I think. See, here we have a little bit of difficulty because I accidentally erased a little bit. So I'm going to go with the erase tool and actually keep that. It's very confusing, I'm sorry. But I hope that me doing it made sense. Also, every time you click off the color tool, you're going to have to click back on it and get your color back because it forgets. Okay, I'll quickly do this. Okay, I really did a rough job, but if you zoom out, it looks pretty rough. Here you just have to do the same thing with the bra. You have to do that for the underwear, but I'm not going to do that because I'm running out of time. Not running out of time, I just don't really want to do it. Here, let's say you just want to bring the waist in a little bit. You have to kind of, whoa, that was crazy. Here, you kind of need to know how anatomy works and just pretend this is a real person with real organs and real body parts, and imagine someone in real life, if you saw them with a tiny waist, their waist would not be like this. That isn't where the small part of your waist is. If you follow MSP's design instructions, the smallest part of the waist should be in line with this little crevice here and this one here. So it should be like at that point and like maybe there, if that makes sense. So like this bit right here is the small of the waist, and then we just bring it in. Oops, way too small. Bring it in carefully like that. You can kind of just imagine how to bring it in. Just work on the angle of your lines. And like, see, that looks pretty good. You just don't want something that like looks like this. Okay, let's rewind it. This is a good example of when to create a checkpoint. Just create another version of it, make one of them invisible, and then go on the one that isn't invisible and just try some stuff. Like, I'm going to make the waist up. Oops. I'm going to make the waist up here. And you might be thinking, oh, that looks really good. But then you get your base, your checkpoint back up, and then you can compare them. Like, does that really look normal? No. So let's delete that, create a new copy, turn that one invisible, go back to this one and try over. So I'm going to quickly do this. Ooh, okay. Really quickly. That looks fine to me. I'd probably do it a little bit higher so it wasn't so in on just above the pelvis, but that's fine for now. That's pretty good. That's how you cut down to make a custom body. But to do the complete opposite, like for example, making the breasts bigger is the opposite of cutting. You have to add on. So I'm going to add a layer, an empty layer, and we're going to go to the draw tool, pick a color, the skin color, and then we're going to draw where we think the breasts would go. It's good to do this on a new layer, because if we did this on this layer, for example, we are working against everything we just erased. Like if I do the same beautiful shape, it gets cut off. If you don't understand why, it's a bit difficult to explain. It's just easier for everyone if you just open up a new layer and do it on it. Okay, so I don't really know like if this is proportionate or not to any woman in real life. So I don't know, it looks weird, but I'm not saying if you have these breasts in real life they look weird. I don't know. The shape probably looks fine actually. I might just be overthinking it, and you might be overthinking it too with your design, but I'm pretty sure any shape of breast you draw is going to look weird because it doesn't have cleavage or nipples. Like, it's just gonna look weird. But to add cleavage and nipples, I'm gonna not do nipples because this is YouTube. I'm gonna do some shadow and just paint on some cleavage. So we go back to the same MSP brush design, which is size 9 with a softness of 5. Then we're gonna go under the breasticle and just kind of mirror what they're doing on this side. Ta-da! Pretty good. And then what I do is I kind of do a rough copy. Like, this is my rough copy with the draw tool. Then I go to the lasso cut tool and then I sharpen it out like that. And I also use the lasso tool to shape it to the body like this. Otherwise you'd have just a weird hanging bit of shadow. See, like that. That looks pretty good. Something else I do, which is a bit chaotic, is just fill. Oops, I'm gonna do this on a new layer so I don't ruin that little bit I did. I fill the layer with the color, then I just remove all of it, and then I basically paint everything in with the keep tool. See? Ta-da! That looks a bit big, so I'm actually gonna go to the, what's this called? Arrange and style, make it smaller, and move it around a bit. Ta-da! What about, bam, right there. It looks fine. It looks a bit like Frankenstein's bride, like it's a bit spliced and stitched together, but you get the idea. And now all together with everything we've done, we've got a hand, which looks amazing. We've got a head that looks amazing. And a pretty bodacious body. I think that's basically all I have to tell you about how to cut and splice all of the pieces. Basically, if you use everything I just told you, you can get to the point where you have this. Just all the different body parts, and then all together you should have this. So yeah, I don't know if I've explained this in the video yet, and I think it's a bit weird to do it at the end, but the point of saving all of the images separately right now, so the point of doing this is it's just going to make posing your character a whole lot easier. Instead of having to repeat this long enduring process every single time you want to make a new pose. So I'm going to make a new canvas. I'm just going to show you because it's like hard for me to explain for some reason. Right here I've just got the whole look. If I want to make a look of this exact pose except this arm is raised, I'd have to duplicate it, keep the arm, Oops, fail a little bit. See, look how messy this is. Okay. Oh my god, having to erase all of this is just taking extra time. Oh, it's so messy and awful and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, that's the best we're gonna do. Go back. Oh no, look, there's a hand, but there's already a hand. So we have to go here and remove this one. Okay, now I need to lift the arm up. Do you see how difficult that is? But now that you have all of these, all you have to do every time you want to make a new pose for your character is to just drag all of the pieces back onto your canvas. Like this. Grab the torso, head, bicep, forearm, and hand. Ta-da! See, look, and now, if I want to just move the head, all I have to do is click the bit that looks like the head, and just do whatever I want. Okay, it's a bit tricky with layers though. Ta-da! See, look how easy that is compared to having to cut everything every time I want to do something. And if I want to move the thigh, all I have to do is click the thigh piece and move it. And let's also move the shin bit. This is so weird. Look, easy. Okay, well, I think that's the end of this tutorial. I am exhausted from doing this. I hope I made sense. The next video I'm going to be showing you how to actually do poses, which I kind of just did in like a few seconds. I just showed you how to do this. But that's gonna be, that video is gonna be a whole lot funner than this one, especially if I make it not at 1 in the morning. Yeah, because you've kind of done, after you've cut all of the body parts and saved them all separately, you've basically done all of the hard work, and now you just get to have fun posing your character in crazy positions. So yeah, I am looking forward to doing that with you because I find that very fun, and I've got some tips and tricks to help you. But yeah, I do hope this video made sense. If it doesn't, please tell me, even though it'll break my heart. Well, that's all I think. I'm gonna go get water. Thank you for watching. Bye!